Hello, welcome to the data analytics welcome workshop. This is something that we require all of our new admits into the business school here at Utah State to do in order to be able to register for classes in the next semester here. The reason we have our students do this is it just kind of makes our advising and career appointments a little bit more productive when you come in. So it gives you some stuff to think about, to be able to start thinking about questions and things like that. And then also just going over some just like basic requirements for like major requirements, but also how to get involved with things like clubs that are associated with the major and other resources that we provide here in the business school for you. I'm meeting your team here. So my name's Nick. I am the academic advisor for the data analytics major. And I'm on the Logan campus. So if you're a Logan campus student, you're going to want to meet with me. If you're a statewide campus student, we'll go over who you're going to want to meet with in the next slide. And then Valerie is your career coach for the major. So to kind of distinguish the difference between what me and Valerie do, I'm more helping you like plan out classes, making sure we're keeping you on track for graduation with what classes you should be taking each semester. I can just kind of give some general advice, ways to get involved and things like that. And then Valerie's the career side of things. So she's helping you with um, like what you can do with the data analytics major. So helping you like with job search strategies, resume reviews, LinkedIn profile review, really anything that you have questions about careers. Meeting with Valerie sooner rather than later is a really good idea. Like don't wait till the last semester of your senior year to meet with a career coach. It's really helpful because they can really give you some suggestions on what internships maybe to look for, and then maybe even be able to refer you to some of our recruiters that have come in and like be like, hey, I have this position available. Do you have any students that wanna apply for it, or any students that you would suggest we should be on the lookout for? So that's kind of the importance with meeting with the career coach, and then yeah, kind of importance with meeting with me is just making sure we can get you graduated when you want to get graduated, and how we can work out your plan in order to do that. And then our statewide campus advisor is Amanda. You can schedule an appointment with her with the QR code on the screen. So if you're a non-Logan campus student, we prefer that you meet with Amanda. But for statewide campus students, we just have Valerie. She's our career coach for everybody. So Amanda just does like the academic advising stuff for us. But if you're a statewide student and you schedule an appointment with me, that's perfectly fine too. I don't ever turn any students away that want to just meet with me. Kind of sometimes you might have questions that are like super specific about IS that maybe Amanda can't answer because she advises for all of our business majors and then a few majors like outside the business school too. So she has a lot on her plate sometimes. And then our appointment policy, so the QR code you see on the screen now is how you really can schedule an appointment with any of our advisors, whether it's academic advisors or career coaches, or even any like or Amanda, our statewide advisor. We allow a 10-minute grace period from the start of your appointment for any like unforeseen delays that you might encounter. So let's say like you're coming in person on the Logan campus and you can't find parking. I know that kind of is a little bit of a struggle or something like that. So let's say if your appointment starts at 2 o'clock, you have till 2:10 to show up for that appointment until you're marked as a no-show. And the reason we have that policy is just because it's a good habit to start building to show up to the appointment and things on time, but also just out of respect for like the advisors or the career coaches time. Because if you show up like 10 minutes after your appointment, you're already a third of the way through your appointment. So then it's kind of hard to get a full advising appointment in 20 minutes without going into maybe like the student we have after you. And then for phone appointments, just a reminder, you're required to call in. We don't call you for your appointment. So just like if you would come in person or Zoom, right, you're expected to show up on time for that. Kind of same thing with the phone appointment. You're required to call in. And I know like different offices at Utah State have different policies, but that's just a policy in the business school. Because when you call in for that phone appointment, then we know that like you're prepared and ready to have that conversation with us. Please, if you can schedule in person or Zoom, that's our kind of preferred method of meeting with students. Zoom, I don't really require students to join with their camera if they don't want to. I understand sometimes you just don't want to have your camera up. We just like Zoom or in person better just because then we can share our screen with you and talk through some of like the processes and maybe some of the systems we're using and stuff like that. So then you have an idea where to find that. And then we can also share links that way easier. And then also, especially for like if you're meeting with Valerie for like a resume review or like a LinkedIn profile review, coming in person or like doing that over Zoom is so much more productive than trying to figure that stuff out for the phone. But if you absolutely need to schedule a phone appointment, we'll take that as well. But please, if you can, do in person or Zoom. Then some student privacy stuff to go over here real quick. So you might hear something called like FERPA. So this is a federal law that protects um, you as a student, so not like any random Joe Schmo off the streets can call in and like ask questions about like you as a student. So um, if you do call in, whether it's for a phone appointment or you're just kind of calling into the office to maybe get a quick advising question answered by our front desk, you might be asked to provide something with your security phrase. So that just is a way for us to verify that the person on the phone is you, and then we can kind of share that information. Um, if you don't have a security phrase set up or you just need to get one set up, we can kind of share information. If you reach out to me, I can share that information with you. And then delegates, kind of same thing with like your security phrase. So let's say like your mom or dad or whoever wants to call in and see how you're doing in your classes. If they're not a delegate on your account and don't know your security phrase, we can't provide them with any of that information. So if you want your parents or whoever to be able to see your academic records and stuff that we have here at Utah State for you, you'll have to make them a delegate on your account. Again, you can reach out to me if like you don't have someone set up as a delegate and you want to get that set up, but it's not required for you to have a delegate. But if you want your parents to be able to call in and ask questions, then they will need to be a delegate. And then lastly, your student aid number email. So this is how we correspond with you as academic advisors and career coaches and how we want you to correspond with us. This email is tied with your student account, so it makes our correspondence a little bit faster. Then I don't have to like ask for your A number when you email me some questions or stuff like that. Also, then this doesn't get filtered to a junk folder sometimes. So sometimes if you email us from like a personal account through like an iCloud or a Gmail or something like that, sometimes that gets filtered to the junk folder. And sometimes I'm not the best at checking that folder. So making sure just to reach out to us via your A number email, because that's how we're going to reach out and communicate with you as well. I always suggest students if they check it kind of like once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once before they go to bed. Like they typically aren't really gonna miss uh anything that might be important. Me and Valerie don't really like email you a bunch of stuff. So normally if we are emailing you about something, it's probably important. Like we're not just gonna be sending you emails like every week or something. Like typically we are very minimal on what emails we do send out. And then the next few slides here, we'll just kind of go over some of your minimum graduation requirements. So some minimum graduation requirements for like credits and GPA you can see on the screen. So you need a total of 120 credits minimum. You do have about like 15 credits, like open elective options to be able to get to that 120, just with how some of our major requirements can satisfy some of your general education and depth education requirements. So come meet with me and we can talk about those and what satisfies what. For those open elective credits, if you do need any of those, that's sometimes we suggest students to add a minor, or you can just kind of do fun classes however you see fit. And then you need a total of 40 upper division credits, so that's 3,000 level or above classes. So you easily get that within any of our business majors. 2.55 GPA or above is required in your major, minor, and your USU and overall GPA for graduation. And then degree requirements we'll go over in the next slides here. So business acumen, this is something that is required for all of our business students to take, so it doesn't matter about your major. For the data analytics major, a C or better in these classes is required for graduation. For the business acumen, it's a really good way to be able to explore the different options that we offer too. So let's say like you chose data analytics because you just had to choose a major to be part of the Huntsman School, and you're just like, hey, data analytics sounds cool. It's something I'm super interested in, but you haven't really taken any classes or done anything geared towards that yet. Starting out with our Data 1100, Data 2100 series is a really good way, like introduction into the major to help that out. But also it just makes you a well-rounded like business person, and then helps you be able to explore different options. So as you see, as you take a couple classes from each of our majors that we offer. So then you're not losing ground towards graduation while you're exploring your different options within business field too. And then some of the major requirements stuff. So for data analytics, we do have a higher math requirement than any of the other business majors. So calculus 1, math 1210, and then math 2270. Linear algebra is required for graduation from the major. If it has been over a year since you last took a math class, you'll need to do the ALEKS math placement exam for math 1210, or really any math class that you want to get into. So come talk to me about where you're at with math, and we can kind of review that together and kind of talk about your options with being able to get into that calculus class. You might already have calculus complete with like AP or concurrent enrollment credit, or maybe even a chance for work. But come talk to me about that. And then I also like to point out data 3500 and data 3330. 3500 is our intro to Python, and data 3330 is our database management class that is taught in SQL. Those two classes are really good to take earlier on, because those are really going to be your prerequisites to any of the other like 3,000 level or above data analytics, like major specific courses that you'll take. Also, we have students that have told us that like once they've taken those two classes, they feel like confident about getting like internships, and even just getting more involved with like clubs and like, or the Analytic Solution Center or anything like that, really, once they take those two classes, because that gives you a really good base level skills. I know data 2100 covers some like basic skills in SQL and Python, but these classes will really like deep dive deeper into those programming languages. Then DegreeWorks, if you do have questions about DegreeWorks or how it works or anything like that, just come talk to me, come schedule an appointment. This is where if you request for like a 4-year graduation plan, like a semester by semester graduation plan to be made, this is where I'll house that for you if you want that. Also, this is just kind of like a general list of requirements that you have remaining for graduation. It's not like listed in the order you should be taking classes. So again, like just come talk with me so we can maybe get that like tentative graduation plan set up for you, or just kind of go through your requirements and see where you're at, and talk about DegreeWorks more in depth and where you're at in the major. And then repeat policy. So the Huntsman repeat policy is a little bit different for your courses than what USU has a repeat policy for. So for any of our business classes, you're allowed to take a class up to 2 times. So you have the initial attempt at a class, and then you get the 1 repeat of that class. If you need a 3rd attempt at a course, come talk to me about that. We can talk about our appeals process and whatnot. And then like at the bottom, you see like what happens if you hit the maximum number of repeats. We can talk about that if we have to cross that bridge. And then just a reminder that the grade on your transcript and your GPA is reflected by the most recent attempt. So don't retake a class if you don't need to retake a class. Like let's say you get a B in a class and you're used to getting all A's and whatnot. Getting a B isn't going to be the end of the world. Also, it always worries me when a student repeats a class that they don't really need to retake, just because I have seen students fail a class that they didn't need to repeat, and then it's kind of like crappy that I gotta tell you that you need to retake the class again just because of that fail is what's gonna be pulling in for your major requirement, or that GPA requirement too. So don't repeat classes if you don't need to. And then minors, so adding a minor to your data analytics major is great, but not required. A lot of times we tell students to be intentional with the minor that they add, because it's a good way to explore maybe different options that you have, or let's say you're like, hey, I'm really interested in finance, so I don't really want to do a finance major. A minor is a great way to do that, especially because a lot of data analytics jobs, like we do have a lot of students that like to go into like kind of the financial technical realm of things, or fintech, as you might hear it called a lot. So that's a common minor that we see students at, is finance. I would say finance, entrepreneurship is one of the most popular minors at Utah State. The leadership and management minor, if that's something you're interested in, that's good. But yeah, those are some good different options. But also, another thing that we see students do is double majoring with data and IS, as well as it's really, there's a lot of overlap between both our data and information systems major. So if you are interested in that, want to talk about that more a little bit in depth, come talk with me. We can go over that. It's like about a semester's worth of extra classes to do both data analytics and information systems major. And then some more stuff here. Our registration calendars, those can be found on the registrar's office website. So these are good for just kind of knowing when like registration opens up each semester, and then also kind of knowing when like tuition and fees are due, or just a general idea of any like important dates. So like when the semester starts, when it ends, if there's like a holiday break, like spring break coming up here in the spring, or even like Christmas break, kind of knowing when that stuff is, because I know for like planning, and then even when summer starts. So when you start applying for internships or even jobs, being able to plan that out and knowing when you're gonna be done with school, so then you can kind of know when that start date's gonna be. And also just any of the important dates for like registration can be found on those calendars. Wait list. You might have gotten waitlisted for a class this semester. If you do get waitlisted for a class in the future, this is kind of like one of the things you should be checking your USU A number email for, because if you do get off a wait list, normally before the semester starts, you have 24 hours to respond to that email to claim your seat before it goes to the next person in line. But then once the semester starts, that number goes down to 12 hours. So this is kind of the importance of checking your A number email as well. Freshman Academy is something that is highly expected for our first-time college students to do. So this is a class that is specifically for students that are just coming from high school, and this is their like first semester at Utah State. It's a really good, like I call it like an extended orientation to the business school. So you'll get to meet some of our faculty, meet some other students, some of our upperclassmen. And then just understand some of the resources that are available for you in this class as well, whether it's within the Huntsman School or even outside the Huntsman School. But and then yeah, follow us on Instagram. That's a really good way to like keep up with like events and what's happening within the business school. Then me and Valerie encourage you to just kind of take ownership of your education. That we are here to kind of help guide you, help be part of that like success team for you. But we also need to make sure that you're kind of taking some of that ownership and whatnot. So I just encourage students to kind of understand the requirements on their end too. So when you do come in and we're talking with you about stuff, just kind of when you kind of take that ownership and understand the requirements, it makes the advising appointments a little bit smoother. Or if like, hey, you already come in like prep for a career appointment, it makes it a little bit easier and whatnot to work through that appointment and really get to like the real, like the deep questions that you might have. And then lastly, like just making sure to check your like transcripts for your AP concurrent enrollment or transfer classes and make sure those are applied. Just because I know sometimes that can be a slow process, or if you just like transferred here from somewhere else and let's say you applied back in like the fall semester and now we're in this next spring semester and you took classes this past fall, you'll have to make sure to get those transferred. Then that's just working with your old university and getting them transferred over, or like you have any AP and CE credits, that's just kind of going back into some of those systems that you use for that to make sure those get transferred over as well. And then lastly, before I pass it over to Valerie here, our start desk is on the Logan campus between Huntsman Hall and the Eccles Business Building on the second floor and like one of the airways. This is a really good place if you have any like just quick advising questions, quick career questions, need like a resume reviewed, anything like that. Our peer mentors will sit down there throughout the day from 9 to 2. So they can help provide any really just kind of basic needs that you might have as a student, or maybe you're new to campus and you just don't know where to go for a class. We can help you, or they can help you find that. Or if you're just like, hey, I want to get a student's perspective on maybe what to get involved with within the business school, they can help provide that as well. But I'll pass it over to Valerie here now.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nick. So as he said, my name is Valerie Reese, and I am career coach for data analytics and information systems students. I like to start by saying there are 3 things that I hope you take away from at least my part of the presentation. And also Nick's. One is that you matter to us. You are important to us here at the Huntsman School of Business in the Department of Data Analytics and Information Systems students. And we are your success team, as he mentioned, and we're here to support you. And as he also mentioned throughout his part, to set appointments to meet with us. And because I tell students, if we don't meet with you, if we don't know what's going on with you, then all we can think is that things are going really well for you. And so if you meet with us or email us and let us know, if there are concerns you have, there's struggles, things aren't working out, whatever it is, then we're able to step in and provide that support and kind of walk through what you might need to help you succeed. And then the third one, while not required for data analytics majors, I still encourage you to do internships, and we'll talk more about that later. So those are the 3 things that I hope you remember at least from what we talked about today. So as you can see on the screen, why choose a career in data analytics? High demand organizations across industries need skilled data analysts to make sense of their data and guide decision making. And this demand translates to strong job security and growth opportunities. So that's really important, I feel, especially in today's economy. And the salaries are super competitive. Professionals often enjoy competitive salaries due to the specialized skills you bring to the table. And your faculty here, I promise, will prepare you. Our faculty, I can never sing their praises enough. They're phenomenal. They care about you too. They always, every year, do things above and beyond to provide opportunities for you students, for career exploration, for networking, and for them to get to know you. So make sure you take time to drop in during office hours and get to know them. They have great industry experience, so that means they're great again for that career exploration, career advice, and they also have networks. And I've seen them leverage those networks for students who get to know them. The next one is diverse career paths. Data analytics skills provide you with a wide range of skills that you can apply to a variety of fields. Nick mentioned finance is a common minor. That's true. There are a lot of data analytics students who end up in other industry areas such as finance, healthcare, marketing, sports, technology, and many more. So you can really tailor your career path to whatever your personal interests are. Problem solving and impact. If you love solving problems and if you like playing detective, data analytics is the perfect major for you. Because often what you're doing is you're sifting through data, looking for trends and patterns, and then showcasing your results to stakeholders. And so you'll play a crucial role in solving complex business problems. You'll have opportunities to impact company strategies, improve processes, and even tackle societal challenges like healthcare success and climate change. Your work can be really impactful as you interpret data. You directly contribute to solving business problems, improving operations, and driving innovation. So your work truly has measurable value and impact. This next one I really love. Data analytics is a future-proof career. And the reason is data is a key asset for modern organizations, and its importance will only grow with advances in AI and machine learning, ensuring long-term relevance of your skills. And then your ability to work globally. This is true because all companies around the world need people with data analytics skills. So whether you're looking to work at a local startup or an international corporation or anything in between, opportunities exist. And oftentimes you have opportunities to work remotely as well. And then the last one I think is really interesting because oftentimes people think of data analytics as truly the technical oriented people, but you also have the opportunity to blend that creative side. And that's typically manifested in using data visualizations. And crafting compelling stories from the insights that you identify, and by finding innovative solutions to problem solving. So, and then on the right, there's a table. It's just kind of a rough national average of what entry level salary looks like for both undergraduate and graduate students, and then also the high end of salaries for undergrad. So competitive salaries. The next here is just a screen that shows a few. There are many more functional areas. So each column represents a functional area within data analytics. And then the bullets underneath each bolded column header are job titles that tie into that functional area. So this is just to get you a start. Google it, use AI. I love using AI for career exploration because you can say something like, hey, I have a degree or a major in data analytics and I'm really interested in XYZ. Is it Tableau? Is it Python? Is it certain skills that you like doing? And then AI will help you identify job titles that tie directly into your unique interests. And then also, of course, come meet with me and I can show you more. Next up, I want to talk about club involvement, and I'll introduce you to an acronym that you'll likely see. It's DAISA, and it's spelled DAISSA, and it stands for Data Analytics Information Systems Student Associations. And so AIS, the first logo that you see, the round looks like a globe. That's for the AIS, or Association for Information Systems Club. I think of that as the parent club. This is also a professional organization. So people in their career in data analytics or information systems may likely be part of this professional organization. We're fortunate enough to have a student chapter on campus that students can participate in. So again, I think of this as the kind of the parent club. All of these other clubs really fall under the purview of AIS. The next logo you see looks kind of like a brain. That's the logo for the AI club. We also have Women in Tech. Not pictured on this slide is the ASC. That stands for the Analytics Solution Center. That's an organization founded by the department that students can be involved in a number of ways. One, there are internships that you're able to apply for. They're here on campus. Students fulfilling these internships are mentored by faculty, and it's an opportunity to have that real world experience on campus. So you don't even have to leave campus to do the work. The ASC also provides opportunities almost every week. Currently, it's Thursdays from noon until 2 in EBB on the 9th floor, where you can work on a personal project and faculty are there to mentor you. They also provide opportunities a couple of times a year for students to pitch their project ideas. And if the idea is selected, that student will receive about $5,000 in funding to execute that project. So that's really exciting. The other one not pictured is because it's new this semester, and it's the Sports Analytics Club. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me, let me know. I'll hook you up and connect you with that. You can read on the screen some of the benefits and involvement or of being involved in clubs, so I won't read those, but I will just say an additional benefit is when I talk with recruiters, they look for students who stand out. And so they want to see students who did more than the minimum requirement of just going to school, passing classes, and graduating. And so being involved in clubs is one indicator of students who are going above and beyond. And so recruiters will look for that club involvement on your resume or as you talk about it in an interview. Other things that help you stand out are those internships experience that I talked about, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. And then also even working, and because that demonstrates to the recruiter or employer that students are able to juggle more than going to school. So, and the reason is because in your professional career, you'll have to juggle multiple priorities. And so this is good experience, good practice in doing that. And then if you look at the screen on the bottom right, is the contact information to get connected to those clubs. And then Nick also mentioned connecting on Instagram. You can see when events happen also. Internships, as promised, here we are talking about it more. I recommend internships, doing them early, doing them often. Again, they're not required for data analytics majors, but doing them again will make you stand out to recruiters. And currently, when applying to tech jobs, they're super competitive. There are a lot of people competing for at most every job. And so recruiters are going to look at that resume and see what makes you stand out from the other hundreds of applicants. And so internships is a very valuable skill, not only because it will make you stand out on your resume, but through having that experience, you'll be able to more accurately and in greater detail share the skills that you have that relate to that job. And then on the screen, there is a statement about DMC. That's a Canvas course. Hopefully you see that on your Canvas landing page. It stands for Dare Mighty Careers. And this is how I communicate with you all. And as Nick mentioned, we don't just randomly email you. I do send weekly announcements through this Canvas course. And in that announcement, some of the key things you'll find are major specific events. So these events will help you with your career exploration and networking opportunities. You'll also find internships and job opportunities. And then you'll also see links for the clubs listed down below and how you can connect with them. So make sure you check it out. Almost lastly for me, here's a resource of things that really make Huntsman unique from the rest of the university. I mentioned Dare Mighty Careers already, and the other one I want to focus on right now is the third row, and that's the Focus Friday events. So typically in Huntsman School, we don't have classes on Friday. The reason is this is a time dedicated for students to develop professionally. And as Nick referred to, owning your education, being involved in these activities is the perfect way to own your education. What we mean by that is being intentionally involved and engaged. And I see it every year, the differences in students who do choose to be engaged in these activities. And they're not always just on Fridays. Sometimes they're during the week when companies may be on campus for an info session, or there may be a site visit. Those types of activities will, again, provide you the opportunity for that career exploration, because when you know where you're going, where you want to end up, then we can reverse engineer and be intentional. What are we doing now that's going to prepare you for that career when you graduate. And then, I'll let you look over the rest of the things here, that are really designed to help our students succeed and be able to compete nationally. And I'll let you pause it to read more, but I'm just gonna move on for now. So again, Nick and I, we are your success team. You matter to us. We care about you. I'll say it again. If we don't hear from you, then I guess it's kind of the out of sight, out of mind. We assume that everything is well with you. So if you're struggling in any way, please reach out to Nick or I. If we're not the right resource for you, we'll find who is the right resource for you to help you succeed and have a positive experience with us here at Huntsman in your educational journey. Here's our contact information. I'll let you pause it if you need to capture that. And then lastly, here is this QR code. You'll want to take out your phone, scan this QR code, and complete the survey. Check all the boxes that we talked about, all the things. This is verification that you completed this welcome workshop. And without it, a hold will be placed on your ability to register. So you want to make sure that you get that submitted. And if you have any questions, again, please reach out to Nick and I. We are your success team and we want to dare mighty things with you. Is there anything you want to add, Nick?
Yeah, just to kind of emphasize making sure to fill this form, just because, yeah, if you don't fill it out, then we don't know that you completed or watched the video here, and this is how you avoid like the hold getting on your account, or if you currently have a hold on your account for registration, this is how we can get that removed. So when you fill this out and submit it, it'll kick an email to myself, and then that's how we verify that you completed the workshop. So yeah, please just do that. It doesn't take super long. It just kind of goes over some of the stuff we've talked about and just so we, for policy and procedure purposes, can just kind of say that we talked to you about it, in this type of setting. And then, we'll also kind of ask for some like takeaways and things like that. So, which we read, as well. So, but, yeah, if you do have any other questions, reach out to us. We're here to help you as much as needed. So have a good one.